Good afternoon, this is Nicholas from Gandora Gaming, and today I got second place in OP06 Memorial Collection with Blue Dolphy. I'm really happy with my results. I tweaked the deck before I went to the event. It was a 21-person tournament, 4 rounds. It would have been 5, but there was only 3 undefeateds by round 4, and I lost round 4, and the other guy lost round 4, so ultimately, because of Bandai's rules, we ended on 4 rounds, but I got 3 out of 4, and I'm pretty happy with the results. I think this Blue Dolphy is the best it's ever been, and it only gets better once the new OP07 comes around in 2 weeks. And of course, once we get the brand new structure deck that comes out later on in OP08 format. So I'm really excited, and I can't wait to see the new support we get. So if you don't know, Blue Dolphy is my favorite leader. He is from OP01. He is a 5-life blue leader. When you put $2 on attack, put $2 on him, you rest 1. When attacking, look at the top card of your deck. If it's a 7 Warlords that is 4 or less cost, play it rested. So basically, for your Dawn, on your 3 Dawn turn, you put 2 on him, swing, rest 1 Dawn, look at the top card of your deck. If it's a 4 cost or lower, 7 Warlords of the Sea, play it from deck. Very, very powerful ability. He's basically the original Gecko Moria. And honestly, he was just the worst Gecko until OP07 came around. And now he's a better Gecko once you get the new starter deck, because that new starter deck is just really, really good. So let's talk about it. So the build I was playing today was definitely unique. I put back the 10-drop Kaido back in the list. I took him out for the 9-cost Sanji. I was playing 3 Sanji and 3 Dragon Mihawk and 3 Borsalino in the older build. But I felt like the Borsalino wasn't doing well. And I honestly think that the 9-cost, Sanji was also not doing well. Because, yes, don't get me wrong, going 9-cost Sanji into 9-cost Mihawk is good. But, I don't know. I feel like having a 10k that draws us 4 cards that also is just 12k 100 attack is just too good. I didn't want to brick on it, so I only played as a 2 of. And it really worked out. I felt like it came up enough that I felt good about it. And I never bricked on it, so I'm pretty happy with that. Next, we are playing 3 Mihawk. Mihawk's just a staple. He's always going to be a 3 of the deck. This card is just really, really good. On play, return a character with 7 or less to the bottom of its owner's deck. This card bottom decks 7-drop kids, a bottom deck 7-drop big moms. This card just bottom decks any issues you got to deal with, like Borsalino, and it deals with so many good cards. It's absolutely ridiculous, not to mention it's a 9k swing every turn. It's just really, really good. I'm really happy with 3 of this. I wish it hit 8 costs or more, like Katakuri does, but you can take what you get. I really like them, and I like them as a 3 of. Now let's talk about our smaller units. Every unit other than these guys can be played off Dolphy's ability as long as there's 7 Warlords of the Sea. So next we're playing 4 Edward Weevil. This is a new inclusion in the deck. This came out in the new Memorial set. I was debating playing him. My build I played last week, and actually the last few weeks, I actually wasn't playing Edward Weevil because I felt like he had no counter, and his deck desperately needs counter. Luckily, OP07 fixes that once we get 2 new 2Ks for the deck, that being Law and Crocodile. But this card's actually just really insane. It's a 4-cost 6K that draws you a card. So yes, it technically does not have a counter, but it draws you into counter, which is just really, really good. And I'll have to mention, it just accelerates your hands really, really well. And against 4-cost 5-life leaders, this puts a lot of pressure on them. If they don't have an out to this guy, swinging 6 every turn is just really, really devastating, and just a really good card in general. So I think this card's a must-have 4 of, and it's only get better once the new structure deck comes out, and also when we get the new Djembe. Next, we're playing 4 Gecko Moria. Same reason why we're playing the Edward Weevil. He's just a vanilla, but he is a 4-cost 6K that we can play off a leader ability. He's still good. He's probably going to be taken out once we get the Boa card, but maybe not. Maybe we'll also play him with Boa and just have 12 6Ks. That might be the plan. We don't really know yet. So I really like Gecko Moria. He came out in OP02, and he's still a great card. Next is playing 4 Gecko Moria. Now, this card has never left the deck. This card is always a must-have 4 of because this card is absolutely broken. On the play, add a 7 Warlords to see 4 less costs, or a Filler Barks Pirate from your trash to hand, which is just really, really insane. It adds back your Peronas, it adds back your 2Ks, It adds back anything you need, your blockers, whatever you need, this card adds back, which is absolutely incredible. Next, we're playing 4 Draco Mihawk. This is one of the best 2Ks in the deck. It's currently the only 2K that we're playing in the deck, which is kind of scary. A lot of people don't realize that until OP07 comes around, there is only one in archetype 2K, that being himself. Thus, be careful and make sure that you play it correctly. You could play cards like Kaya, other 2K cards like that, but personally, I feel like they're just too bricky. They're not playing off Leader's ability, so I personally just stick with Draco Mihawk as the only 2K in the deck. Next, we play 3 Charlotte Pudding. Now, she is not a Seven Lords of the Sea, and she's not a 2K, but she is a godsend for the archetype. She basically, on your 7 Dawn turn, races your opponent's hand, makes them shuffle back their whole hand, and they draw 5 cards. This stops stacking decks. This stops decks that have 20 cards in hand. This card kills a lot of decks. I won a lot of tournaments in the last few days. Oh, not tournaments. I topped a lot of tournaments in the last few weeks because they'll have like 20 cards in hand, being Edward Newgate, or a red purple Luffy, or a red a yellow black Monkey D Luffy, and you just play this card and just shuffle back your whole hand and be like, now deal with it. This card is absolutely incredible. It's one of the best cards you can play on your 7 Dawn turn. And it's one of the best cards you can play. It's just amazing. Must have 3 of. It's just really, really good. Next, you're playing 4 Boa Hancocks. This card's insane. It's a blocker that when attacking or on block, if it has 1 Dawn attached to it, you draw 1 card if you have 5 or less in hand. It's just a really, really good card to play off leader ability, and it's still a staple for the deck. I don't know if it'll still be a staple once we get the new Boa, but we'll just have to see. Next, we're playing 4 Dolphy. This card will always be a staple. This card's absolutely insane. 3 cost, 4K blocker that looks on the top 5 cards of your deck on play. So you play it off leader, it looks at the top 5. If you play it hard base, it looks at the top 5. Great card, really amazing. Sleeper choice for this deck is Duval. This card's not a 7 Warlord, so it can't play it off ability. But this card is a blocker that is a 2 cost that allows you to look at the top 3 cards of your deck and stack in any order. This card's really good on your 5 Dawn turn. If your opponent, if you miss on the first swing with Dolphy, if you go 3 with your effect and then miss on your 5 Dawn turn, you can play a Duval, stack your deck, and guarantee the Dolphy on your 2nd turn. Well, technically be your 3rd turn because the first turn you pass. But on your 3rd turn, which is just pretty solid. And then the final monster we are playing is 4 Perona, because Perona is still the best card in the deck. She might get replaced with Buggy once that comes out, but I'm not really sure. Buggy is a 2K that looks at the top 3 of your deck. This looks at the top 5, which, I don't know. I think looking at the top 5 is better, but I don't really know. I really don't know. So you all tell me in the comments if you want to replace this with a Buggy, which is a 2K. Next, for our events, we're playing 3 Galaxy Gravity Tiger Blade. This card's absolutely amazing. It just says, hey, bottom deck 2 6 or less bottom deck 2 6 or less cost characters, and it's a trigger bottom deck of 5 or less, which is absolutely insane. For decks that go wide against you, this is just a really good card to play on your 7 Dawn turn and just completely out-tempo them. We're also playing 3 Red Rock because you still got to deal with the big monsters like Big Mom, 9-Drop, Yamato, things like that. This card is really, really good against them, and it's just a staple for blue in general. And then finally, we're playing 4 Gum Gum Rain. This card is just insane. We're playing so many non-counter cards. This card literally says, hey, now we have 8 Dawn to counter, basically, because it basically discard this card and another card. And basically, you gain 3,000 power. Not to mention, it's a trigger to bottom deck a 2 cost or less character, which is really, really good. Overall, it's a great card, and I'm happy to play it as a 4-up in the deck. So that is it for the deck profile. I hope you all enjoy. Don't do anything stupid, and I'll see you next one. Bye-bye.